What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Unveil Paranormal. My camera is blurred again, but that's okay. We're going to keep moving forward. Hey, everybody. Tonight is a very special night. As you can see over here to my left, right, whichever way this is, we have a special guest on here with us. So that's super exciting. If y'all didn't know, we're going to talk cryptid tonight, all cryptid. Joe is here. And I'd love for Joe to give a little introduction, if you don't mind, Joe, so everybody knows who you are and how you got here.
Well, I'm Joe from Insane Asylum Podcast and Paranormal Investigators. And cryptids has just been one of my fascinations. We've done things on Bray Road for about 3 years. We've researched the beast of Bray Road, the so-called Dog Man. So
yeah, and you have the documentary out too.
Yeah, it's kind of a documentary. I mean, it wasn't produced by anybody but us. I mean, it's not easy to edit 3 years of footage and probably 36 plus hours of it or more.
Oh, wow.
Not including the audio from the EVPs, and then you've got stuff from thermals and all the other equipment.
Right.
So it all adds up. So we cut down the best into about 2 hours and presented it last year.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Everybody, if you want to check that out, definitely check it out on YouTube.
Can
they find it on your website?
Look at utterlyinsaneproductions.com and you'll find the links to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight, guys, Joe is going to join us in evidence review of alleged cryptid proof that there's actually cryptids out there. He probably knows more about this topic than I do, so I'm so glad and thankful he was able to join us. And yes, Jeremy, your eyes are fine. My camera literally just went blurry right when I hit the screen. I'm trying to, there's folks on my hand. Oh, there I am. I'm back. So I'm here. It's been doing this. I think it's about done, and I need to get a new one. So what we're gonna do, guys, is I have 4 photos, 4 videos to share with you, Joe. We are going to discuss the cryptid. Brad has some information on it. Joe, I'm sure, has information on him. And decide if the evidence is legit or fake is basically what we're going to do. So, who's ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right. The first one I'm going to share would be the most popular one out there that I know. Like, everybody knows about this one. So let's get to it.
Is this the best Bigfoot footage out there? In 2001 in British Columbia, a man called Harley Hoffman captured what he claims to be the best Bigfoot footage after the famous Patterson video. However, the Patterson footage is known all over the world. This cannot be said for the footage of Hoffman, which he finally uploaded in 2006. The video is incredibly clear and a Bigfoot-like creature can be seen walking away from the camera. If this is a man in a suit, it is incredibly well made. What do you think? If you enjoy stories...
So what do you think about that one, Joe?
I don't know, when was that made? I mean, he uploaded it in 2006, right?
It was shot in 2001.
Yeah.
So the idea is he thinks this video is just as good and credible as the Patterson footage.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, which was shot in 1967.
Yeah, but that Patterson footage, a lot of the technology we have in 2000s wasn't available back then.
Right.
And you could see a lot of muscle movement in the Patterson footage.
Okay.
Okay. So that determines that some people were saying, "Oh, this is fake and this is legit and this is edited." But do you know how expensive it was to edit footage back in '67?
Right.
You know, and remember the Planet of the Apes movie? I mean,
Yeah.
from the '60s. I mean, the originals from the '60s.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some of them. Yeah.
Those costumes were obviously fake. You could tell
Right.
that they were fake in that movie. Okay. But what you saw in that Patterson footage, when they moved and walked, you could obviously see the muscle movement.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. But in this one, I think it's some dude in a costume.
This one, you think it's a dude in a costume?
I think it's somebody in a costume. I mean, that technology is there today to make a costume that
Right.
realistic. And I saw no muscle movement in that footage. You didn't see the muscles moved, and the way it walked was a little
like
off.
across the shoulders, it just was
like
a solid mass. Yeah.
Right.
I guess I just don't think of that. Like, I love that you mentioned that. Like, not just, oh, well, it looks like real fur, but there's nothing, it's not fluctuating, it's not moving. I love that.
Anybody familiar with the Patterson footage knows how much that thing's been dissected by experts over the years.
Right.
And nobody's been able to prove it's a fake.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I know. And it's really compelling. I know when we were doing research, there was some debate of people claiming they could prove it's wrong, it's not real, but
But see, in '67, to make a costume that good, it would have cost the guy a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
You got people don't think about that today, like automatically. They want to dismiss it. But when you normally see the ones that are more convincing, a lot of times, and I think this has to do with the theory where people have the theory of Bigfoot being kind of like one going in and out of portals.
Right. Interdimensional. Yep.
Right. That's why there's no DNA evidence or anything. Right. However, most of the more realistic footage is out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
That was too perfect.
Too good.
Yeah, it was too good to be real.
Okay. Yeah, I absolutely love that you mentioned all those points because I didn't even think of all those. Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, we can just about recreate anything nowadays. So you're absolutely right about that. For sure. All right. Do you have anything else to add on that, Brad, about the...
No, they pretty much covered everything I wrote down about it in the video, so...
Okay. We're going to go for one that's not as common, but it's local in Ohio. So it's a photo. So I'm going to share this one with you and see if you can tell what it is. Have you seen this one, Joe?
No, I haven't.
This is considered the Loveland Frog, also known as the Loveland Frogman, and also the Loveland Lizard.
It's from Loveland, Ohio.
Correct. It was first reported in 1972 by a police officer. He reported it to be about 4 foot tall and weighing between 50 to 75 pounds.
Really?
So allegedly it's on its hind legs, right, Brad?
Yes, it supposedly stood on its hind legs and was more humanoid.
So like a frog man.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
What do you think about the frog man?
I don't know. I haven't heard about this one.
Yeah.
So I ain't got much to say, but you could say that, it does almost look like a frog sitting on the water there. And anytime certain types of lights hit the eyes, they'll glow.
Right.
I mean, you should see my dog's eyes at night in the right light. They either will go red or green.
Do you think this frog man looks like he's standing up, or you think he's like sitting on maybe a rock?
Reflection. I think that's some kind of reflection.
The
Yeah, I think
reflection.
we're only seeing the top half of him. I think we're seeing
Yep.
reflection on the bottom of the water.
Brad said he did find that most people were debunking it, saying that that photo was what, a lizard or something?
Yeah, supposedly 2 weeks after it was originally seen in 72, a second police officer actually shot the alleged creature, and it turned out to be an iguana with no tail.
Okay.
Well,
That's
so
what
there you go.
So that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're claiming.
But like I said, like the lights of a camera, if you take the picture, especially back in 72, they probably had a flash.
Right.
Probably
Oh,
a
yeah.
cube flash.
Right. So that flash of light could make those eyes glow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, you should see my dog. I had a purebred Siberian Husky, and her eyes will, depending on how the light hits them at night, either green or red.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll do another video for you. This is a pretty common cryptid that a lot of us know about. So here we go. What do you think of that one? That's supposed to be Nessie.
And that was supposed to be in Loch Ness.
That was
Right.
supposed to be a Loch Ness. They're claiming it's
Oh.
Loch Ness. It's awfully small, I think, if it's a Loch Ness monster. Maybe at babies. Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know what to say about that. It's hard to say. I'm not an expert on sea life, but that almost looked like that was staged.
Oh, okay. Do you think it was
okay.
even an animal of any kind, or do you think it was a fake?
Well,
fake
one of the stories.
mechanism of some
One
type?
of those stories about Loch Ness Monster is the guy made something out of wood way back then to get attention.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
That's
Now, and it wouldn't be the first time that somebody put that out there, and you can't really see if there's a string or not because of the water and the quality of the video. But
Right.
it could easily be hidden with like a fishing line and somebody towing it in to make it look like that, and it'd just be flamboyant or
Right.
so it rides the waves and makes those humps.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe a sea, like a large anaconda or something. I don't know. What kind of history did you have on that one?
Anaconda wouldn't be out there.
Yeah,
I don't
anaconda
know,
wouldn't
Steve.
be up in that.
They're
Anacondas
more
are like
found in the jungle forests and what is that? What I'm trying to think. What's
the Amazon area.
Yeah, the Amazon area.
Okay.
So
Okay,
go ahead.
Aren't my forte here. Go ahead, Brad.
So Nessie was first ever publicized in a book in 565 AD in the life of Saint Columba. The photo he was talking about that's now been proven fake is called the surgeon's photo. It was from April 21st, 1934. It's like the most famous of all the Nessie photos. It has been determined to be fake. The guy finally admitted it. It was originally published in the Daily Mail, and they're still having studies and research done in Loch Ness, like to this day. So,
yeah.
Well, I believe there's something out there. I do believe that because with all the different sightings from all the credible people, there's got to be something there.
I've seen some really neat, like even sonar, like underwater photos taken and stuff's been like bumped into the actual camera. So, yeah, I agree that there's definitely something in that lake.
I mean,
When I was doing my research, actually, they were talking about how, we don't know everything that's underwater. I think in
Right.
Alaska, it was just a couple years ago, they discovered a new whale. So this could just be one of those examples. We just haven't found that species yet,
Or it's something survived
Right.
that supposedly went extinct, because there's been many theories that this is, and I can't pronounce it, but
I think it's pronounced plesiosaur.
That's it. Thank you.
Yep.
Survived, and they're saying, no, that's impossible. And no, anything's possible, because you don't know, and we don't know for sure if there may not be hidden caves or something down there, or how far depth some places go down.
Yeah, Loch Ness is actually really, really deep in some spots.
And things could have survived down there in the cold.
Right.
For God knows how many years. I mean, I believe it's still possible Megalodon might show up yet.
Ooh,
I'm
Megalodon.
afraid of the oceans because of that theory.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go swimming in the ocean anymore.
Oh, I won't go near one. Not because of that, because I saw the invisible deadly thing out there that I don't want to run into. Is that's those man of war.
Oh, Portuguese man of war.
I wouldn't want to be stung by those fuckers. But no, thank you. That'd be some incredible pain.
I've seen the ocean. I put a foot in the ocean. It is massive. So
nope, I've never been close enough to it to do that.
Yeah. I definitely recommend checking out the ocean sometime. Who we got over here? The light works. Oh, okay. Jeremy had some comments on the Frogman. Can you replay that? Oh, you wanted to see that video again, Jeremy? I mean, I can replay it for you.
Which one?
It's I think he's talking about Nessie. Let me know, Jeremy.
It would have to be Nessie because it's the only one with a sidewalk in it.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah, the Nessie video. All right, let me check. Let's pull her back up
Look
here.
a little closer at that.
All right.
See if it was really.
I hate the background music.
There's something by the railing. Yeah, I'd probably have. Oh yeah, the background music is annoying. I'd probably have to pause it. I think the writing looked like it was in a different language though. On that one. There was something written on a platform, but it moved too quickly. I mean, we can. I don't know, Jeremy. I'd go check it out. I'd go look at it. I didn't see it. Did you guys see it?
It's right at the end, right before the video cuts out. There's writing on the end of the pier.
It looks like another language to me.
Well, like I said, I think that was too staged, and it's like
it's too good again.
Most of the Loch Ness monster, the Loch Nessie ones that I have seen, okay, they have been caught off guard. These people have been caught off guard, and you can hear the reaction in their voices, not some funky music playing in the background. And they're like, you know, shocked at what they're seeing, and they can't explain it. They're not saying that it's nuts. They can't explain it. They're like, what the hell is that out there?
Right.
Right.
You know, those are the more realistic ones.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's all about the reaction.
You know,
For
that looked too staged.
Mm-hmm. I
Or
agree.
it could have been an alligator. I don't know, but
right.
I think it was too perfect, and it was too like staged. You know, everybody's trying to get their 15 minutes of fame on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I have another photo for you. These ones you probably know a little bit, you probably have heard of. I think I'm going to share this one first. Do you know who that
Oh,
is?
that's a chupacabra.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Chupacabra. So you've seen this one.
That goes down back to Art Bell. I used to listen to him in my cave, or my cab.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think about Chupacabra? Do you think, you know,
I'm not sure. I've seen some, and this is exactly what people have shared, and they've got one actually. That woman's got one on display somewhere, and it came back as some kind of weird crossbreed between two
oh,
species
Hmm.
that
of
makes sense.
canine, obviously. And then some people also say it's, you know, something with what's that stuff, mange, some
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Oh,
canine
mange.
mange.
Yeah. It's
But
caused by the mange. Yep.
see,
I've heard that.
it's the way, something about the legs that make that theory kind of a bad theory. And this is like this is a pretty good picture, pretty convincing picture of a
Mm-hmm.
chupacabra.
Yeah.
They say it was like I can't remember. I saw that documentary. It was real recent, not too long ago, and it was like a cross between a coyote and something.
Hmm.
I know I've seen it, like people who taxidermied ones. That's what
Yeah,
I thought were, yeah. Um, I think a lot of them to me look like just dogs, like dogs you would see in like third world countries.
Right.
right.
Safety dog.
That's also been a theory too, that this was like that's what it was. This was a cross between a coyote and a Mexican. God damn it! What
Like
was it?
a hairless dog?
No,
No,
I
no.
don't know. I can't remember. My memory's not that good about that, but that's a pretty convincing picture
Yeah.
of what a chupacabra is known to look like.
Yeah, I pulled this photo. There was like three of them together, and I thought this one looked the most convincing, so that's why I grabbed this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, chupacabras have been reported for years.
Well,
So,
yeah. Before I even started in the paranormal, I was always kind of interested in it.
mhm.
And I used to drive cab for a while after I had the leukemia, and sometimes I could only get AM radio. So I'd listen to Art Bell. He was a famous guy on AM radio, and he was known worldwide. And one of his favorite topics to talk about was this creature right here.
Really?
That's the first time I heard about the chupacabra, was when I was driving cab and he was talking about it.
Yeah, I definitely think chupacabra, maybe not as, maybe, I don't know.
It really fits into that cryptid.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think those are definitely possible, is what I'm trying to say. Because there's so many reports of them, and it's been part of folklore for a long time, especially down in Central America area. So,
Well,
Yeah.
that's where it originated.
Yeah. The
right,
first one was reported in Puerto Rico in '95, actually.
Right.
it's got to be longer than that.
But
Not according to what I looked up.
this was like this was like now that it was a breed of Mexican. It was like a wild dog
Yeah.
in Mexico. Okay, and a cross between that and a coyote. So that kind of
Right.
puts it in that cryptid category. And until science confirms it and gives it a name, it's still the chupacabra and kind of unknown.
Yeah.
And then again, that could end up being its name in the future.
Right.
Permanently.
So we're about halfway through these, and I have a curious question because I know we talked about, I don't know if it's on the show or before the show, we're talking about like Bigfoot going through portals and stuff. So I've always separated cryptids and aliens as two separate things. Do you think most of these are earthly? Like they're from the earth? Do you think a lot of these are actually from other places?
That's just it. Everything's theory. Okay.
Right.
As far as Bigfoot goes, I believe any one of the theories is possible.
Right.
I mean, I still, some people also think he's a descendant of one of those long extinct apes.
Yeah.
That was very huge.
Possible.
Yeah.
It is.
And that's another name I can't pronounce right now either, but I knew what the name was. But yeah, so this more, there is until they're proven, they're theories. And you just got to keep an open mind. Any one of them could be possible.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to aliens, I don't think of it that necessarily being a thing when it comes to him jumping through a portal or whatever, or going dimensional. I think it's more of them being some kind of watcher, and it goes back to the Native American lores. Where you've got these species that go interdimensional or can are shapeshifters.
Yeah.
As in the skinwalker, is a shapeshifter from Native American lore, where they protect the land and protect the people.
Right. Okay. 'Cause, yeah, I've always tried to categorize them separately, but yeah, absolutely. There's no black and white in the paranormal, and we know that.
That's what I love about it. That's what makes it so much fun.
Together. And the longer you're in it, the more you learn that, So, sorry about my dogs, guys. Okay, I am going to play the next one. The next one is similar to the last video, but it's a little different. So let's just see what we think and feel in this one. Fast. Let me play it one more time.
There was something there.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, what's that called? The Ogopogo?
Ogopogo.
Ogopogo, yes.
Yes. That's what that was.
Yeah, it's mostly been found in a lake up in British Columbia.
Yeah. That lake that they were at, I think it was. Yeah.
So what do you think of that footage? Do you think that's more convincing? It's right. I mean, the thing is right there.
Honestly, they were caught off guard, and they just, I mean, I wish I could have heard the audio to that, the real audio.
Right.
Yeah.
The people that would have seen that, because that was a pretty convincing video, And if you could have heard the reactions, it would have made a difference.
Right. I wonder if there's a way to find that original footage, because that TikToker had to get it from somewhere.
Because you can't really tell exactly what it is, but something's there.
And it's more than just lumps on the water. There looks like to be a body there. It's not just waves and like lumps on the water like most.
Yeah, I saw like fins and tail and what was obviously a tail and
So Brad, I've never heard of that cryptid till you mentioned it. So tell me a little bit, whatever other information you had on it.
Just a second.
So for those who have not heard of that one.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I just don't know much of it. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it's considered a lake monster. It's like the U.S. version of kind of Nessie. It's Okanagan Lake in British Columbia. It's been cited by natives going way back, but the first non-native was in 1872 was when it was first reported, and then the first video shot of it was in '68. But in the '80s, a local tourist company was offering cash rewards for film footage of it.
Really?
Yeah. And then the last reported video, I don't know when this one was shot, but the last one I found was in September of 2018. They saw like a snake-like creature that was 15 meters long. So
That'd be about what feet?
I think it said 49 feet.
I was just going to say about 30, 35 plus feet at least.
So yeah,
Wow.
that was the last one that I saw.
That's possible in length. There's some fish and some snakes and stuff that'll get that big.
Right.
In lakes?
The snake thing in Canada seems a little odd to me, but
yeah, that seems a little off because that's a little far north for that kind of a reptile.
Right, too cold.
Right.
But they said snake-like, so
it was. It looks snake-like. I mean, you couldn't, maybe eel, maybe a large eel.
Yeah, there are cold water eels.
I mean, who knows?
I want to play it one more time because I didn't watch all of it because I was getting my kids to put my dogs up. That's why they stopped barking. So let me watch it one more time. Almost two at the same time.
You cut out.
You see that like underneath the tail? I don't know.
You cut out. I couldn't hear what you even said.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, when you put a video like that, it mutes the mics.
Oh, yes, it does. So, no, I could see the tail, is what I was saying. And then I thought it looked like it had, like, maybe an extension below the tail, like it had hind legs or something. But I don't know if that's what an ogopogo, has.
I don't know. Some
people believe it look whatever you want it to look like because no one really knows.
No one really knows for sure. And then there's the other thing is I once saw a documentary, and I don't know if you've seen this or not. There's a documentary, and it actually turned out to be a mockumentary.
Oh.
There's a difference, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it was about mermaids and if they really exist.
Okay.
Okay, and it was extremely convincing. I was convinced that they were real by the time it was over with. But the whole thing was a scam because they wanted to stop the Navy from doing sonar testing in the waters because it was killing off dolphins.
Ah.
Kind of like the Blair Witch, what is it called? Blair Witch?
The Blair Witch Project? That's a fucking joke. It's supposed to
be real and it was a huge hoax.
That's fucking joke. I'll tell you the real story. You want the real story?
Yeah.
Yes, Joe, because
it's real quick. It's a real quick, real story.
Tell it.
It was all about winning a Blockbuster amateur award.
Really?
Blockbuster had a contest for amateur people to go out and make a video, and if you won, they'd make you turn your video in and then put it on their shelves and all of that. And
Really?
Yep. So yeah, some kids came up and creative with whatever they could get and went out to the woods and yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this, I was one of those kids who thought that movie was real because I was young enough. I thought it was real, and then when I seen those people on a talk show, I'm like, they died. What happened? So I
No,
will say that, but I was young then, so.
I was working in the video store industry then. I
Were
owned,
you?
yeah, I owned my own video store, and I heard about the contest. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm sure I'm not the only kid who thought it was real there for a while.
No, that was
Brad,
all
you looked
fake.
away. Are you guilty?
I mean, I've seen it once because I'm not a horror movie fan, so
Right.
I
I'm a
watched it
big horror
once.
movie fan. I'm a big horror movie fan.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of people are in the field, absolutely. I mean, so
Just the
definitely
classics, so I don't like the remakes.
classics, yeah.
Remakes and then sequels being taken too far.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of remakes in general, so not even just horror, but like in general.
I'm with you on that.
All these live action Disney is not, I'm not feeling it.
You can't beat the original Aladdin and the music, can you?
Right, exactly. See, he knows. Joe knows.
My kids grew up on stuff, so
Yeah.
I got 2 girls and 1 boy, so I've
Do
watched
you?
them all. I've watched them all.
Yep. Some of them are really good. For being 1999, it was incredibly well. Oh, he's talking about the Blair Witch. Extremely well promoted as a real deal. Okay, so I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone. Hi, Anthony. Welcome. All right, let's see. What have I not given you? I just gave you. Okay, I got one.
Well, they impressed somebody for being a bunch of amateurs.
They did.
Yeah. So I got one video left and 2 photos left for you, Joe. I think this is the one I want to share with you next. Let's get to it. Do you know which photo this is? This is a pretty popular one I found online.
Okay. No, I don't think I've seen this before.
So the one there on your, I guess it would be right-hand side, looks like it has wings. That's allegedly the Jersey Devil.
That's supposed to be the Jersey Devil.
That's what the Jersey Devil's supposed to look
You want to know what my first thought was?
What?
That it was a buck.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
the one on the left is a doe, and it would make sense that the one on the right was a buck.
Right. That would.
Mm-hmm. And him moving his head around could have caused that effect of what looks like wings.
And the way his legs are moving make them look bigger than or wider than what they really are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think that is. It's just a couple of deer.
Couple deer, because I think this is on a trail cam. This
one
was.
And if it's not the best trail cam, and you don't, most trail cams, most good trail cams, you would see along the bottom of the picture the date stamp with like the barometric pressure and like the temperature outside and the moon phase and all the other good stuff.
Okay.
And even the camera and the brand of the camera.
See, I'm glad you guys mentioned that because I looked at this one and I did not see a buck. I see some weird creature.
Yeah, but see, I used to hunt deer. I was a deer hunter. I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I see them suckers all the time. I've had a few of them total out my cars.
Yeah. We have a lot of deer here too. Definitely.
Well, the first thing that came to mind was a deer, not the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. Now I got to look at that the way you guys are looking at it. That's what I love about having different people look at this, because then I can hear other ideas and listen to different perspectives. And I would have never thought of that being a buck moving to cause that effect. I would have never thought of that.
Yep, poor quality camera would do that.
Yeah.
And poor quality cameras don't have the stamps down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if I move my banner, I don't think it's on there. Yeah.
No.
So, Brad, what kind of information did you have about the Jersey Devil for those who have not heard of it?
It's also known as the Leeds Devil. It's mostly found in the Pine Barrens of southern Jersey. It is believed to be first came to fruition in 1735 as the 13th child born to Mother Leeds. She already had 12 kids, and she cursed having a 13th because
That was a very interesting story.
Yeah, so she like cursed it herself and said this child's going to be the devil, and supposedly it was born normally, and then it like transformed into like a bipedal, like kangaroo looking thing with a horse head or a goat head, leathery bat wings, small. It has horns,
When
small
was this
arms.
again? What was the date?
1735 is when this child was supposedly born. And then it has actually a relatively famous person's actually supposedly seen it. Joseph Bonaparte, the older brother of Napoleon, supposedly saw it in 1820 in the town of Bordentown, New Jersey.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, back when, I mean, you know, you should, I don't know if you probably weren't alive back then, but back in the 70s, the smut magazines were extremely popular with stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what I mean by smut magazines, and I'm not talking Playboy or Penthouse, I'm talking the National Enquirer and things like that. Those newsstand magazines, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My mom used to buy those all the time. There was one about child porn that looked like the devil with horns and tail and all of this stuff back in the 70s. And yeah, there was all kinds of weird shit like that going on.
Yep. I remember seeing, I wasn't born in the 70s, but I remember as a young kid in the mid 80s seeing them on like the newsstands at every grocery checkout as you would walk by.
Yep. Yeah. My mom called those smut magazines because they were just full of smut stories, you know, stuff to make a buck. You know, because she didn't like to. Well, she didn't like to believe some of the stories that they wrote about her favorite famous people.
Right.
You know, so she called them smut magazines, but she'd still buy them because she'd go over to her house and there's one of every one of them across the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Because she had know what they were saying about the next person she liked, you know, because they were always talked about people in Hollywood all the time.
Right. It was like the
gossip magazine,
gossip news of the day. When now we have all the internet sites,
and that was real fake news because they made up some of those stories, you know, the crazy stories, just to sell the newspapers.
Right.
You know.
Right. And now with, you know, having online access, they don't.
Oh yeah, you can fact check anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
watch how many times did somebody die that was a hoax on Facebook? Came across fake, you know.
Yep.
No, I don't see it on the front page of Yahoo. It ain't true.
Right. Yeah, because there's some you know that aren't gonna put out those fake deaths and some.
Yeah,
literally
over the weekend, I saw that Willie Nelson died. And I'm like, but I only saw it from one person, so I'm like, I'm not believing this. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That old son of a bitch gonna live to be 100 plus.
Right.
Man, he wrote a song once, and it's probably true. And it's like, roll me up and smoke me when I die.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of the song? No shit.
Yep. I've heard the song.
The whole audience was singing with him in the video.
Yep.
And the thing is, as much weed as that son of a bitch has probably smoked, you could probably do that.
Yeah.
And get stoned off of Willie Nelson.
Just a contact high from just being near him, probably.
Well,
oh yeah.
I've
You
heard
don't
of
want to be on that bus, according to Toby Keith.
Right.
He says he'll never smoke weed with Willie again.
Yeah.
That's the name of a song too.
But
Yeah.
there are
Toby,
people who's requested that their ashes be smoked. I know that's been a thing. So
yeah, you should do that to mine. Maybe I should tell people to do that to me.
we'll note that down so everybody knows when Joe goes, we're smoking him.
I mean, I'm a pot advocate since the 80s. I graduated high school in 1985.
Yeah.
Now, they always said, oh, it makes you stupid and you lose IQ points. Well, then tell me something. I was stoned my entire senior year and I graduated honor roll.
No.
That's awesome.
Okay. You know, I've got like a genius IQ average, but I did that and then I had to quit. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to quit. I quit smoking in 86.
Okay.
I took a year off after I graduated.
Gotcha.
Then I went to college for a while, took police science and so on and so forth. So anyway, so I had to quit for a long time and then we got hit for the leukemia. I got off all my pills that put me in bed by smoking pot. It may not be legal here, but my doctor says, you know, it can get you off the pills so that you can eat. And see, I had total body eradication, so it kind of destroyed my stomach lining. So I wake up, I'm nauseated every morning when I wake up.
Wow.
When I had that mini stroke, oh my God, I thought I was going to die that night. And it wasn't from pot withdrawals because I don't believe there's such a thing. Okay, I've been through morphine withdrawals and that almost killed me. I could have swore I was going to die. They had me up the one of those drip machines when I was in the hospital and then took me off of it cold turkey and sent me home. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, you know, that stuff, them pills they had me on and stuff like that made me sleep. I spent 90% of my time, my kids hardly saw me because I was sleeping. You know, but when I went for the mini stroke, when that happened and the pot started running off, oh my God, the nausea hit. That's so bad. And then the medicine they give for that, same effect, knocks you out.
Yep.
And they had to shoot me twice to get rid of it. And all I would have had done was take 2 hits and it would have been gone.
It would have been gone. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't get very strong stuff because I've had, you know, stuff from medical dispensaries before.
Right.
But what I get is what you get on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I have a video and one more to get to. So let's jump to this video real quick. This is similar to the first video, but this is allegedly the Snow Yeti himself. So you can see on the right-hand side, allegedly the Yeti is over there by the tree. Did you see that?
I watched the video earlier. Yeah, I noticed it earlier.
I'm going to see it again.
You want to see again? All right. There we go. did you see in that time?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a Yeti, a Bigfoot, or just not real? And that's the actual audio to that video that you hear.
Yeah,
So you didn't even see
I
it.
don't know. That's pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I like
like
that it's not in the center of the screen like you're focused on it. It's off to the
It's-
side.
right, and I didn't see it the first time until you guys said you had to look to the right, and then I realized it was there. And yeah, the guy didn't react. He didn't see it. He probably took the video home and was looking at it and like, what?
Right.
You know? So yeah, it's pretty convincing. Those are the type of videos that are like I was talking about earlier. Sometimes you don't notice it until you're at home and you see things.
Right.
That happens a lot.
Just like reviewing video for a ghost
Right.
hunt.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Well,
Exactly.
and if Bigfoot's more like a watcher, do you think is Bigfoot and Yeti like essentially kind of the same thing?
Yeah, I believe
I
it.
believe so.
I believe it just depends on where you are in the world is what it's called.
Right.
Because
So-
it's got so many different names: Sasquatch, Yeti,
Yeah.
Bigfoot. You know.
But I think if they're watchers, for them to just be off to the side like that would make sense. For them,
Yeah,
to
I
at
see.
a distance.
Those ones where Bigfoot attacked me, or they were attacked by Bigfoot. I don't buy that.
I almost shared one of those.
Well, I don't believe that. All right. Now, however, though, because if you're out there walking and say Bigfoot throws something at you,
Mhm.
and not necessarily to hit you, but he wants to scare you off, you're in his territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I hear those stories a lot, but the ones, some people panic and say, "Oh, he tried to attack me," or they physically got attacked. I think those people are searching for 15 minutes of fame.
Yep.
Okay. Because I truly believe they are just here to watch.
Yeah.
And observe.
You think they're more likely to retreat than attack? Then?
Oh yeah, I think they're more scared of us than we are of them.
Okay. I definitely think Bigfoot, Yeti, all them, those are definitely possibilities too. I believe in those too, for sure.
Well, there's one video that I saw once where a guy was climbing the mountains in the Himalayas.
Uh-huh.
Right? And he gets up there and all of a sudden there's these big footprints in the middle of the snow, like in a place where,
no humans have really been right.
Right. And it's like, wow. Now that was extremely convincing, because they've been spotted up and around there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Let's shift to the very last one. And I got this one just for you, Joe, because I want to know your opinion on this one specifically. Okay. Here's our last piece of evidence. Do you know what?
Oh, I've seen this footage before.
Do you know who that's supposed to be?
That's somebody's version of the Beast of Bray Road.
Yes. So that's allegedly that Beast of Bray Road, which I know you've studied quite a bit on. So what do you think about it?
Well, their picture is either staged or it's actually they've taken something out. See how the paws are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they should be resting on something.
Agreed.
Okay, so whatever was there, like a log or something, it was taken out of the picture, possibly. All right, and looking at that picture, that looks like a gray wolf.
Yeah, I can see
which
that.
are native to Wisconsin. Okay.
I believe this was taken in Wisconsin, actually.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous picture.
So this is definitely not what the beast looks like, right?
I'm not sure what he looks like, but that doesn't fit the descriptions we've heard. That's more of a wolf. And see, you can almost see the tail. See the tail there?
Oh, yep. It's curled up. Yep.
And it looks real bushy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the same as a husky's tail, because a husky is the closest thing to a wolf there is.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like one of my dogs, but much bigger.
Right.
I mean, if you put a wolf next to a full-grown husky, and a full-grown husky is about 80 pounds, the
Right.
males are, okay? Those dogs are about 200 pounds, say.
Yeah. I seen this one. I thought it was kind of weird looking.
But
So,
he looks like his paws are supposed to be resting on something.
Right.
Like it was, you think this one was photo edited?
Like maybe he had like a deer there that he was trying to protect.
Yeah.
Like a roadkill.
And this was taken on the side of the road because I've actually zoomed in a little bit. So it's supposedly somebody you can see in the original photo, somebody driving down the road, and this is off to the side.
Yeah. What was it? I don't remember the exact date, but it was 1930 something. All right, 1930 something that the first recorded.
Yep, 1936.
Yeah, 1936. The first sighting of the Beast of Bray Road was some lady driving down the road, and they saw it, caught it reared up in their headlights, because it was eating road. They said it was eating roadkill.
Yeah.
Okay. Deer would have been a common thing back then to have been hit by a car along that road. That road's about 2.5 miles long.
Okay.
Very desolated. It's in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, and it is very dark at night.
Okay.
Linda Godfrey, God rest her soul, an author and also a Wisconsin native, is the person that named and researched the stories from that era and named it the Beast of Bray Road.
Okay. Yeah, I seen a lot of stuff about her pop up when I was looking.
Very nice lady, yes. Lots of respect for her, but she passed away a couple of years ago, I think it was. Last year or the year before? Last year.
Okay.
Oh, never got a chance to meet her in person, but I've read a lot and had watched her at the Milwaukee during the COVID. They had it. Their conference was online.
Okay. Yeah.
So I watched her thing.
Yeah. So you've had extensive investigation on the Beast of Bray Road.
Yes.
Usually at night. Did you do some daytime or?
Well, we initially started. We drove down there. It was in one of the books we were reading. You want to drive down there at night during a full moon, so we did that. Okay,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was also raining, kind of a thunderstorm, so we couldn't get out of the car. But we filmed from inside the car. So our first trip was that we actually put that on YouTube. The unedited drive down Bray Road at night. We didn't see nothing, but you can hear me. You'll hear me talking and stuff and saying how the mind can easily play tricks with you.
Right.
Because I always believe in knowing your surroundings and all the native creatures to the area. Okay, before doing an investigation like this.
Right.
Okay. So, I know for a fact that coyote are pretty common.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to see them all the time when I was going out to my dad's house, and he lived just outside of Madison, big city.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, so you're in a little town like Elkhorn, and you've got the largest forest running right through there, which is drawn up the Kettle Moraine Forest. It takes up a good portion of Wisconsin. Okay. And it goes pretty far down south, past Elkhorn, all the way up to the Green Bay area.
Okay.
And so you're going to have wolves and just about anything possible down there. And I didn't see nothing. We didn't see nothing. But you could see because of how dark it was. No street lights at all.
Yeah.
Stretch on a country road. And the lights from the houses, well, those houses sit too far back to help the road.
Okay.
So all you got is the headlights and hoping it's a clear night and the moon helps.
Yeah.
Definitely creep factor there.
Right. So it's got its creep factor. Anyway, I can see how it could play tricks on you. You're driving alone at night, midnight, and you see a road, like a wolf or a coyote eating roadkill, and it hits your lights. The eyes will glow green
Right.
or red because it's canine.
So do you think it's real? Do you think the Beast Railroad is real?
I think it's something. I think I don't think they're all misidentifications.
Okay.
Okay, I think some people are really seeing something incredible because a lot of the descriptions are it actually walking bipedal across the road and it stands, 7 feet plus.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I can't go around telling everybody I'm a vampire if I can't believe in werewolves.
Right.
So that, it's a good possibility.
Yeah.
And I do that jokingly about the vampire thing because leukemia is like a blood cancer.
Right.
Oh.
So you're always needing
But
new
before
blood.
this, I did nothing but work third shift.
Okay.
So I'd go to bed about the time the sun was rising, and I'd wake up about the time it was going down. Okay. So my brother used to, and I'd eat all my meat, especially all the beef. Okay.
Yeah.
I would eat raw hamburger, and I would eat it. There would have to be blood coming out of that meat.
Yeah.
Okay. You just flip it once, brown it, then flip it again, and then give it to me. Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
my brother used to call me a vampire because of this stuff that I did. Then it kind of stuck even more because I survived all kinds of shit plus the leukemia.
Wow.
It's like I'm just immortal.
Yes.
It's kind of sounding like it.
So
do you like garlic?
Yeah. I'm Italian.
Maybe you're not a vampire then.
Right.
No, I'm a daywalker.
Oh.
So,
the world is a vampire, Jeremy says.
But I make fun of it because I always told the nurses that if I lost my sense of humor, then I'm dead.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I can definitely tell you have a good sense of humor.
I have to put up Mark, my co-host.
Yeah.
I watch, but we'll see if I do.
Do you guys still currently do the podcast? You said just during the winter?
Yeah, just during the winter. And right now, Mark's been kind of busy with his job. So as soon as when we go out investigating, we like to come on like the Friday night before. Him and I will discuss that, hey, we're going out and we're going to check out this place and so on and so forth. And then we'll have the video for you by Monday. So Monday I have it all edited together with our little intro and credits at the end and all of this. With everything that's real, because I don't edit the stuff in between. Just put this little intro screen in and the
credits.
To thank the people for letting us have permission or whatever, And then we put it out as soon as we can. I do all the work. I got to do all the website, do all everything else. But, I have fun doing it.
Is there anywhere that people can go and watch some of the old episodes?
Yeah, it's all on YouTube.
It's all on YouTube. Okay. And is that under Utterly Insane Productions?
UtterlyInsaneProductions.com is the website. You'll find our YouTube link there. And you'll find everything from our videos of all the paranormal investigations. Don't go through 2019. Before that, anything before 2019, you might get offended.
Mhm.
Okay. I left it all up there just to kind of record our start because we started audio only. And then,
Okay.
you know,
And you shifted.
so, and you
Yeah.
see all the different logos and stuff that we went through and names and so on and
Yes.
so forth. So it kind of creates a timeline.
That's
But
pretty
you've also got videos of my puppy up there.
Oh.
Oh, she's gonna go check the puppy videos out right now. I can already know.
All the puppies.
Huskies are fun to record sometimes if you can get the camera out quick enough when they're having
Right.
fun, especially when they're having fun with a grandchild. You know,
Aw.
and the child's laughing and giggling, and the dog's making, you know, all the vocal noises a husky does.
Yeah, which is weird.
So you'll find videos of Timber Joy the husky.
Is that
That's
the husky talking in the background?
yeah. She's 6-7 years old now. We've had her since she was about 7 months.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I do want to thank you again for being on the show. And thank everybody for joining us and reviewing
Thank you all.
evidence. We're out of time, but I do appreciate you, and I hope everybody go to Joe's website. The link is in the description. Go show him some love. Follow him on all his socials. Check out his old videos, everything. Definitely support Joe. He's a sweet guy. First time I ever got to actually speak to you was here on the show, and I'm so glad I got to.
Yep, very glad to meet you, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. With that said, everybody, you all have a great and wonderful night, and we'll see you all next week.
Yep.
Bye.